Okay, great. So what we are going to do today, there's going to be a lot of practical work, something we missed at the conference. So what I want you to do is to open up a browser either on your phone or your laptop. I need you to go to menti.com, menti.com. I'm going to put that in the chat. And the code for the exercises that we're going to carry out on menti.com is 875 in 87561733. So if you've opened up a new browser and you have menti.com on it, please let me know. Okay, let me stop sharing and then see how many of us are online. Great. Okay, so if you can hear me, please let me know if you can hear me. Can I see
Yes,
some
I can.
comments? Okay, you can hear me.
Yes,
Great.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So have we been able to open the menti.com website? Because that's something we're going to use throughout.
Yes, it already has maybe a question or something.
Okay, that's a question
Open.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we have on that question. Okay, so you can begin to key in your own one word. Just key in one word. It says, in the last 30 days, where did you wish you had more of yourself to give but didn't have the capacity? One word or short phrase. Okay, so I'm going to begin recording now, and then we can kick off the session. Just a moment, let me start that. Okay, so welcome and good evening. Thank you for joining us once again today to make up for what we missed during the ICW conference. So like I said, we'll be starting in a moment. While you are waiting, if you're just joining us now, I need you to either grab your phone or open a second browser tab and then go to menti.com. Menti is MENTI.com. So the code, you see a code on the screen. You will need that code from this very first minute. So the first, we need to go to menti.com and then enter the code on the screen. That code is, like I said, it's 87561733. So I need you to keep that tab open throughout the entire duration of the session because we'll keep going back to it from time to time. The Zoom chat. So the Zoom chat is going to be open throughout. When I ask you to type something, type it there. No need to raise your hand or mute. And then, do we have the Q&A panel here? No Q&A panel. So for our questions, I will say let's keep our questions towards the end, and then we can post in the questions, and then I can take the questions.
Sorry, can you post the code on the chat box?
Okay, so I'll post it again now.
It's in the chat box. The code is it's in the chat box.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let me post it again. Yeah, so we have it there. So I believe we can all see that now. So your camera, please feel free to either keep your camera on or keep it off. Any which way is fine. So we're going to start with the first. Let me share my slide right away. And then we can start. Okay, so the topic that we are looking at today is AI, digital coaching, and the human connection. Okay, so I talked about the Menti code. So this is what we're going to be doing today. So I need you to join the Menti code. There is a worksheet, so I'm going to send the worksheet to us at the end of the session. The plan was to originally send the worksheet to us before today, but we had some technical issues, so the worksheets are not available at the moment, but we'll make those worksheets available at the end of the session. So this is the first question you will see on the Mentimeter. So confirm that you can actually see this on that Mentimeter. Can we all see that? So it says in the last 30 days, where did you wish you had more of yourself to give, but you simply didn't have the capacity?
I saw this, I answered it, and the
You answered.
page
Has it moved
changed.
to the next one? Okay, not yet.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, please the code for the university.com.
The code is 87561733. Is it speaking English or speaking foreign language? What are you seeing on your screen? Let me see if you can share it. Okay. Okay. So can you all see the screen with the Menti word cloud?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So it says in the last 30 days, where did you wish you had more of yourself to give but didn't have the capacity? One word or short scripture. I can see personal life, fitness, collaboration, cancer patient rest, consistent discipline. Okay. Okay. So basically, what this is telling us is that AI will not give us more hours in the day. However, but what AI can help us do is to give us back our best hours. So that's basically what we want to see, how we can use AI to get our best hours. So let's see, this session is basically designed for three categories of people. So I'm expecting that in the room we have coaches, we have executives, and we also have HR leaders, right? So everything I'm going to be sharing is to show us how we can actually use AI, either as a coach to help ensure that we can have back our best hours. And then also, if you're an executive or you're an HR leader, how can you use AI to improve the work that you do? So I'm going to go back to my deck and then we take it from there. Okay, this is my deck. Shit. Okay, so from what we've just seen now, we notice that the gap that you wrote down, that is what this session is all about. And like I said, today's session is built on coaches, executives, and HR leaders. So I'm going to share three basic stories, three roles, one reality, one pattern, one core lesson. So basically what this is letting us know is that even though there are three categories of people that we are trying to address, I'm trying to address today, we all have one reality, we have one challenge, and we're all going to gain from this particular session. So let's take the coach. Let's take the coach. So this is an example of a coach who is based in Lagos, uses an AI tool between her sessions to send her client daily reflection prompts. So by the time the client arrives for the next session, they've already done some sort of thinking. She spends the full hour going deeper, not catching up. So what happens is that this particular coach, instead of waiting for the client to come in to the session, and then that was the time they now begin to agree what is it that they need to discuss. He or she would have sent in some sort of prompts to this particular client, and the client would then answer those particular questions, send them back to the client, to the coach. So what that will help them do is that as soon as they arrive, they will just begin to focus only on what is expected from that particular session. So the question that I have here is, what could you do with your session if your client arrived already prepared? What could you do? So can we use the chat box to provide some sort of answers? Let me see if this Menti is really working properly. Okay. So the second question is on the screen. So as a coach, how much of your session time goes on catching up rather than going deep? So can I see us begin to vote? So there's less than 20% or 20 to 40%, more than 40%. I'm not a coach. If you had the opportunity to send in some prompt questions to your client before the client arrives.
We can't see the second slide.
The
The second question.
Okay. Are you on the Menti platform?
No.
Menti.com. Okay, so you need to go to menti.com.
Yeah, I'm there. It's still open,
Okay.
but
it's not showing.
It's still showing the 30 days question.
Okay, did you provide an answer? If you provide an answer, it's supposed to move to the next one.
I did.
Because, okay, otherwise not working for you. Does another person have the same challenge? Do we all have the same challenge? Okay. I can see one person has responded.
Yes, I have the same challenge.
Okay. 2 people have responded.
I have the same challenge. I'm still in the first question. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't moved to the second question. But I can see 2 people have responded. Participants responded to. Okay, so the 2 who responded, how did you get it done?
Okay, mine has been rectified now.
Okay, so can we also try?
Mine has been rectified too. Thanks.
Okay.
Are you seeing the questions? I can't find it. I don't know. Is it me or network?
Maybe it's the network, but just go to menti.com. Then you enter the code 87561733. Let me see if I can share it here. This is what you should see. So as everyone, I have 6/8, 7/8. Sometimes gets up to 8, then we'll see the scores. One more person missing.
Sorry, I think my network is very damn bad. I'm not connecting to the site at all.
Wow. Let's see. So 3 people said, okay. So, but you still try to see menti.com. So you didn't log in at all from the beginning, right? Okay. So what we're saying for those of us who are online now, we're saying that as a coach, how much of your session time goes on catching up rather than going deep? So 3 of us said 20%, 2 said 20 to 40%, and 2 other people said they are not. 3 others says, okay, they are not a coach. So what AI will do for you, especially for those of us who spend 20 to 40% of the time, it means that we'll be able to recover this 40%. So let's say, for instance, 1 hour is the time for the coaching session. It means that if you have to spend 40% to catch up, you only have maybe about 30 minutes or less to coach that particular client. However, if you're able to use AI and then send in these prompt questions earlier before the session, you'll be able to save this particular time. So which means the whole 60 minutes that you've scheduled for this particular coaching session would be what you then utilize, and you can go deeper in the conversation to be able to help your client. And so let's see what we have on the next. I have to shut up again. Okay, so let's look at the executive. So the same thing goes for the executive, right? What would you do differently if you had that data, your own? Okay, what would you do differently if you had that data about your own leadership? Okay, so this is an example of a CEO who uses AI to analyze the tone and language in his weekly team check-in. So usually every morning, they have like a briefing, and in the course of this briefing, people will speak, and because this meeting is held online, this CEO uses the AI, like some of us use AI to record our conversation or meeting so that we can transcribe the meeting at the end of the day. So what this AI does for these executives is that it reveals he interrupts more when stressed, and three direct reports have stopped volunteering ideas. So people who used to volunteer ideas, because of the way he interrupts in the meeting, some of the people who participate in that meeting have decided not to continue to talk. Okay, so this is the scenario in this case. So let me see what I have on the next. And then also for, I hope you all still see my slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for the HR person now, who is an HR director? So the scenario here is that an HR director rolls out an AI nudging to 400 managers, personalized daily prompt based on their 360-degree feedback. Behavior change that took 12 months now happens in 8 weeks. So the question that we need to answer, which is on the Menti now, is what would your L&D team focus on if AI is able to handle the repetition at scale? So you can go to menti.com, use the same code.
Like, do we have to log out and go into Menti every time a question changes?
Okay,
Because I
okay.
noticed it
Are you
hasn't
using
changed
your
yet.
phone or are you on
Okay.
a
I'm using my phone actually.
okay. So what will happen is that you can open a browser on your phone.
Yes, I have a browser opened on my phone. It says,
So
please wait
just switch.
presenter to change slides.
Okay. I think I've changed the slide. So right now, what it's showing is what is the biggest barrier to behavior change in your L&D programs? What is the biggest barrier to L&D? What is the biggest barrier to change in your L&D program? That's what you should be seeing there. Time in focus. Let me share that on my
So,
screen.
Emmanuel, if people are using their phones, at the bottom, you should see an arrow key that lets you pointing to the left. So each time you answer a question, you should click that arrow key on the left. So you go back to the next question that he's showing.
Thank you.
I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so 4 of us have answered now.
Okay, so I have answered. I've not seen an arrow yet. I see what I have on the bottom is create your own Menti at Mentimeter. Maybe I should just switch to my laptop.
Okay.
I think you can just refresh your page. That was what
Just
I did, and it
refresh the
got me
page.
to the next.
Refresh the page.
Okay, thank you.
So we have 6 people who have answered already. Okay. So 3 says lack of follow through. Okay, so 9 of us have answered. Remaining 3 more to go, 2 more to go. Okay, no personalization. Then 1 more. Let's see, who's this 1 more? Okay, so we have 11 first. Okay, so the biggest barrier to behavior change in our L&D program, lack of follow through. Three of us said budgets, and one said no personalization. Another person says time between sessions. So basically, these challenges that we've identified, we can actually use AI to address these challenges. Let me see if I can show us what I have next slide. So what we're going to do next is basically to see a brief, carry out a brief exercise on how we can use AI to solve some of these challenges. But before I give you that, I want us to just take a look at a brief framework. So there's a prompt here. The prompt says, this is for the coach now. I'm a senior leader. I keep redoing my team's work even though they are capable. I feel overwhelmed and I don't fully understand why I can't let go. What should I explore as a coaching client? So if this coaching client is coming to you and this is the challenge that they have, they can use this particular prompt and enter it into an AI tool, and then we'll see what sort of response we're going to get. So I'm going to just carry out a small demo. So when I did it, this is the response that I got from the AI tool. So you can use, depending on the AI tool that you are using, it could be ChatGPT, it could be Cloud, it could be any other one, okay? There are several AI tools. It could be Gemini, it could be co-work that you prefer to use. So this is the question or the prompt that this particular executive entered on the AI tool that he or she is using, and this was the response. It sounds like you may be experiencing a challenge around trust and control. Here are three areas worth exploring. What does letting go mean to you, and what fear sits beneath it? Have you clearly defined what good enough looks like from your team? And then finally it says, where in your history did redoing others' work once keep you safe? So from this response that we are seeing here, what do we think is missing? Do we think anything is missing? Can we use the chat box to type, what do we think is missing?
Please, can we see the initial question again?
Okay, so this is the prompt. The prompt says, I'm a senior leader. I keep redoing my team's work, even though they are capable. I feel overwhelmed and I don't fully understand why I can't let go. What should I explore as a coaching client? Now, after using the AI tool of the client's choice, that's this particular executive, this is the response that he or she got. So the question that I want us to answer on the chat, let's use the chat. Type one word in the chat. What is the AI response missing from what we are seeing here? I'll look at the chat box to see what we are typing. Okay, say recommendation for the team. Okay, the other person says coaching, accountability on the part of the teammates.
I think I'm having a different question on the Menti chat box.
Okay, no, we're not using Menti right now. Use the chat, use the Zoom chat. Use the Zoom chat. Okay, solutions. Solutions, I can see solutions again. Okay, overwhelm definition. Okay. So if this client was talking to a coach, what do you think would be missing? I think that's the question. What do you think will be missing? Okay, clarity, acknowledgement. Okay. What else? Recommendation of next steps. Is the coach required to recommend next step to the coachee? Okay, so some of the things that I can see that is missing is warmth. That warmth, okay, the process. Warmth is missing. Intuition, culture, silence. Yeah, the process, okay. Okay. So thank you very much for sharing all that. So let's look at the next slide. The next slide talks about consistency. So one thing we need to know is that when it comes to use of AI and the human coach, you notice that AI, when we talk about consistency, the AI is always available. Okay, 247. AI is never tired. You can wake up at 2 a.m. and you decide to say, I want to ask the AI a particular question. When it comes to clarity, okay, you notice that the AI will also provide some sort of clarity in terms of language patterns, tone shifts. If you use the AI to record this, as we're recording this session, if you decide to analyze who spoke the more in this meeting, the AI will be able to tell you all that, and it will be clear how long you spoke, how long maybe your voice went up, came down, and all that. But in terms of connection, it's only when you have a human coach that you can actually gain that connection. So there are certain questions you will ask the coachee or your team members, and then you keep quiet for a long time to listen to what they are not really saying. Okay? Because as you're seeing the person face to face, either via camera talking to you, you're able to listen to what they are not saying or how they are saying. Or maybe they're repeating a particular word over and over and uh, over and over. So you're able to know that, you're able to see that this person is saying so many things or so many words using a particular word, okay, over and over. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that AI never has a bad day. It's available 2 a.m. wherever you are, whether in Lagos or outside Lagos. It never projects its own anxiety onto a client. It tracks patterns across 50 sessions without fatigue. As humans, we can't match this. And then when we talk about clarity, it is that AI surfaces what humans miss: language patterns, tone shifts. The coachee who uses the word but 31 times in every session, AI is able to see this. Most times we will not be able to count this person is using bots 31 times. However, AI can simulate empathy. It can say the right words, but it cannot feel the weight of another person's story when you are sharing a particular story. It cannot sit in the silence after a coachee says something. Okay, they've never said aloud before. So you normally, when you type in a prompt, yeah, I will quickly just give you an answer. But if you are sitting with a human coach, notice that when you say something you've never said aloud before, the coach sits in silence to ensure that that particular information that you've shared somehow sinks. So connection is not a skill, it is the entire architecture of the transformation. So we're going to look at the next, we're going to go to the Menti. There's one more exercise we carry out on Menti. Okay. So it says, have you ever received data about your own leadership behavior that genuinely surprised you? Okay.
What I see on Menti is a question that has a scale.
Scale.
Yeah, let me
It
see. The
means you
question
are
is
ahead
how
of
much of your
us.
current work relies on AI being able to handle consistency?
Okay, so we've passed that one. Just answer it and then move, click submit. It will take you to the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we have 8, we have 12 people. Okay, we have 9, 4 more people to go. Okay, 10, 2 more to go. Okay, so let's move to the next Menti question. It says, how much of your current work relies on AI being able to handle consistency?
Please, what is meant by statement 2?
You just pick on any of the statements. Just pick on any of the statements. So not at all. Let me see. Either click not at all. Let me see how it works here. Okay, you can pick on any of the statements and answer. Either select 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Yes. How much of your current work relies on connection that only a human can provide? So when I compare the numbers here, I can see that 4 seems to be, in terms of some of us, the work that we do. So it shows that how much of your current work relies on AI being able to handle consistency versus how much of your work relies on connection that only a human can provide. So I can see that the rating for the work that human can provide seems to be more than that of consistency. Okay. So let's go back to my slide. Okay, in this part, basically what I want us to do here is based on the example that we've seen on the prompt that I shared earlier, is for us to identify what is our own role. Are you a coach? Are you an executive? Or are you an HR leader? If you're a coach, I would like you to choose one current client, send them an AI-generated daily reflection prompt between sessions this week, review what is it that surfaces in your next section. And then if you're an executive, I need you to record your next team meeting, review the AI summary within 24 hours, name one thing you will do differently. And for HR leaders, identify one L&D touch point where AI can drive consistency, map that this week, free your team to focus where only humans can. So that's basically the exercise that we need to carry out this particular week. So in the chat, can we type in what sort of AI tools do we use in the chat? Can I see the AI tools that we use in the chat? Okay. Gemini, ChatGPT and Claude, okay. Who else uses a different tool? Okay, Fireflies for your meetings. Okay. Gemini, Otter, okay, for your meetings. ChatGPT. Okay, Zapier. Okay, Meta AI. Copilot. Okay, so this is the question that I want us to answer. Thank you for sharing all the tools that you use. So what would you do differently? For the coaches, what one thing would you do differently with your clients this week if you were to use an AI prompt to send them, just like I've said, send them a prompt to reflect on the session? So what one thing would you do differently with your client this week? We can use the chat. We can use the chat. Constant follow through. Okay. Okay, so we can also use the, okay, great. Either use the Menti or generate prompts that serve as trackers for agreed action points. Okay, great. So either you use the chat or you use the Menti to provide the answer. The one thing that you do differently this week. Okay, thank you very much, Ajuma, Rachel, for sharing. So what is the one thing about AI in your field that you are most afraid to get wrong? Who wants to share? You can either unmute your mic and speak, and we can discuss it. If you want to use the chat, you can use the chat. Okay,
Breach of data privacy.
Okay, fine. Who else has something that they are afraid of? What is one thing about AI in your field that you are most afraid to get wrong? So I think it's the video that said, yes, breach on data privacy. Yes. What else? Okay, loss of authenticity. Loss of authenticity, over dependence on AI. Okay. Reliance on AI. Inaccurate information. Okay, so let's look at some of these issues that we've raised. In terms of breach of data privacy, how do you address breach of data privacy? So most of the AI tools has an option to enable you to, first of all, determine whether the information that you provide it should be used for training, okay, for training the AI and making that information available to the whole platform, okay? So you have the option to be able to select to disable that particular preference. That's one. Then second thing is that when you want to upload data on AI, if this data, let's say for instance, is staff information that contains some personal details, it's advisable that you take out the personal details, anonymize them. So maybe you have Emmanuel Michael, you don't want Emmanuel Michael to show, they can put A, B, C as the different names. That's something you can also do in order to use AI. And then for your client, let's say for instance, if you're a coach, you need to get the consent of the person, the client that you are working with, before you decide to use an AI tool to analyze the conversation that both of you are having. And most times, because of the quality of analysis that you're likely going to get, the clients might agree that you use the AI tool to analyze the session. Loss of authenticity. So in order for you to be authentic, so most times AI will generate for you is mainly like garbage in, garbage out. So you need to know exactly what you are looking for in order for you to be able to get the correct information, okay? And the issue about over-reliance, over-dependence on AI, you can only be over-dependent on AI if you don't know exactly what you're searching for. But if you know what you're searching for, one major thing that we all need to try to learn is how to prompt correctly, okay? And if you use ChatGPT, ChatGPT can actually help you depending on what you are looking for. You can then decide to ask ChatGPT to give you or to share with you, to suggest for you how to appropriately write the prompt correctly so that you can get the correct answer or the right answer that you're looking for. And whatever result you get, is also always advised that there is need for you to double check it to ensure that the information is correct. So I can see someone here says AI is hallucinations. Yes, poor judgment sometimes. So it might give you inaccurate information, and the only way is for you to use more than one AI tool. So do not rely just on one AI tool. Try to use more than one AI tool. So specifically, I'm going to take, if there are specific questions that you want to ask about your own use of AI, this is the time for us to do that. And then we can maybe use a particular tool to try out something. Okay, so does anyone have a specific use case that you want to try out on AI that you have a challenge with and you want us to practice it? Okay, let me see there. How can one master AI prompting? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this your question, how can one master AI prompting? And I'm going to share screen, share and screen. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the question is, how can one master AI prompting? So let's ask ChatGPT that question. So number one, it says that mastering AI is less about knowing the tricks, but more about learning how to think clearly, communicate precisely, and structure instructions strategically. This is a practical framework on how to become exceptionally good at prompting. So number one, it says you need to understand what AI actually does. So if you don't understand what AI does, you have a challenge. And it says this is what AI does, right? Now you need to learn 6 core components of a powerful prompt. So for every prompt, there are 6 components. First of all is the role. You need to tell AI who to act as. So you now tell it act as a CHRO, act as this, and then context. Provide background of what you want AI to do for you, right? And then you can either say write a speech. Instead of write a speech, you should say, I'm speaking to 500 HR leaders in Africa on AI leadership, okay? What is the objective? State exactly the outcome, what you want. You want a speech that's going to persuade, simplify, analyze. Then what are the constraints? So you add some boundaries. Keep it under 300 words. For maths, then you tell AI how to structure the output. Do you want it out in a table, framework, checklist, slide, outline, email, memo? And then 5, F, example, it says, examples are one of the fastest way to improve output quality. So if you have a particular style, let's say it's a memo, you have a template, how you want your memo to look like, you can upload that and the output will come out for you in the way you want it. So here it says, write, example, write in a style similar to Simon Sinek, or here's an example of the tone I like you to use, okay? And then, so let's take, for instance, so give me an example of, okay, this is an example here now, okay? So this is a prompt here. Instead of saying, write something about leadership, you need to say, act as a TEDx speaker and leadership coach, create a 3-minute opening story for a keynote on emotional intelligence, leadership in the AI era, audience this, and then it will now begin to work on that, okay? So let me see the next. How can, the next question is, please, we will get a recording. Yes, the recording is available. It's actually being streamed on YouTube. So I would will send an email with the YouTube link. Okay. So that's the YouTube link, yes. Okay. So do we have any other question? Any other question on how you can use, what questions do you have on how you can use AI to improve the work that you do? So maybe you are an L&D person or HR person. What sort of questions do you have on how to use AI? Yes, Maria, the recording will be shared. And we've also provided the YouTube link. Okay, so if there are no further questions, we'd like to thank you all for joining me in this session, and I look forward to seeing you in future sessions. So don't forget to watch the replay on our YouTube channel, which I will reshare again now.
I've just put the link into the chat bar.
Okay. Okay, great, great. Okay. For those of you who are new to the ICF Nigeria chapter, you can check us out at icfnigeria.org. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for spending these few minutes with me. I wish you a beautiful evening. Thank you all. Good night.